I'm Sarah Gore, and this is Open House. You are not going to want to miss a second of this show as we bring you homes that define ideal living. Did you expect anything less? We are at this Manhattan showstopper with terraces galore. And we tour Manitoga, one of modernism's most iconic estates. Narrative through design with the owner of this East Village apartment. Plus, we check out how this Tribeca loft was turned into a funky yet family-friendly home. But before all of that, we see how this owner and his designer subverted expectations at this sunny Venice Beach property.
I think that this rooftop deck is so well thought out.
Great views in every direction. You can get 15 people here.
Easily.
Welcome to Open House. Well, we have found some amazing homes to explore this week, and we are getting started in Venice Beach with homeowner Jason Forrest and his designer Tracy Hudson. Jason sought a warm, clubby atmosphere filled with dark woods and textures, but one that paid homage to the bright and airy modern California beach home. Check out how they also brought visual interest throughout, using everyday objects without ever losing its curated feel.
Hi, I'm Jason Forrest, and I'm the property owner here at 1220 Cabrillo Avenue, right off of Abercrombie Boulevard in the heart of Venice Beach.
And I'm Tracy Hudson, and we collaborated together on this project. I'm a designer here in Los Angeles, and we would love to show you around this spectacular property and show you everything that we've done.
We really wanted to draw from the soulfulness of like neo-Victorian clubs that you'd find in New York.
And along with keeping where we are close to the beach, the light, the airiness, those textures, those organic materials that we brought in. We have so much to show you in this property, so it might be easier if we split up. Jason, why don't you show them the living room, and I'll meet you guys in the kitchen.
Sure, sounds good. One of our goals of this space was to create an overall sense of balance. In terms of textures, we started with a distressed dark brown Chesterfield leather sofa, and we layered it with furs. The floor, we have a more beachy feel with a jute rug. We layered that with off-white cattle skin. One of the special things about this room, it's a very high ceiling. So we have a chandelier that is purposely dropped down so that it helps fill in the space. And what that space does is it sort of leads you to the outside, where we have all these Fleetwood sliders. The warmth of the wood and the textures outside, they just sort of continue the living space. This is really a great space for entertaining. Let's see what Tracy's got going on in the dining room.
One thing that I really love about this space, not only that it's just begging to entertain, but it's so nice and airy and light, and you can actually see up to the second floor, which really just draws your eye up, which I think is so interesting architecturally. Clearly, coming into this space, the element of wood is very prevalent, but you see these beautiful walnut cabinets that I think are just so gorgeous. I think that what adds interest in this kitchen is really just using everyday objects as decor, adding botanicals, using wine bottles. It's got this really inviting, casual feel to it, but also is very visually stimulating. I love the butcher block island in the center. It's got that old world feel with all of these clean lines. I like that mix, and I love the wine opener. I think it really just pulls together the whole feel.
For the master bedroom, we were going for a sexy, open, airy, spacious feeling. And the biggest challenge that we had when we got this place was that the ceiling height was only 7'8". So the first thing we did was we tore that ceiling out. We put in a gigantic skylight, all Velux manufactured, 10 individual panes, 4 of which open. The other extension of that airiness is this great outdoor patio. But this isn't it for the master level. Tracy's going to show you the rest.
This is one of my favorite spaces in the entire home. It's just this little gem, and it's a dressing room, so it's nice and big in size, as you can see. Our overall goal in this dressing room was to provide personal space and bring in art pieces and curiosities. I love the Victorian sofa that's brought in. The shape is perfect. The flocati rug, the ornate floor-length mirror really just brings in that intimacy and that romantic feel, but it's not overly feminine, which I like. I like that it has an edge. I mean, who wouldn't want to get ready in a space like this?
There you go.
Oh, how nice, thank you. This is amazing. I think that this rooftop deck is so well thought out.
Yeah, I love how we went with sectionals here. It maximizes the seating, great views in every direction. We can get 15 people here.
Easily. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour.
Thanks for joining us.
And now we get a minute to enjoy the Southern California weather.
Sounds good to me.
That was a great example of how when a client and a designer are totally in sync, they can create this unbelievably unique home. I loved it. Coming up just after the break, we are in New York's Tribeca neighborhood for a tour of this fun and surprising family loft. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Now we're in New York's Tribeca neighborhood with designer Olivia Stutz. Olivia brought a funky vibe to her client's loft that reflects its downtown surroundings. Artful, evocative, and stylish. But it also had to be family friendly. No small challenge. Let's see how she did.
Hi, I'm Olivia, founder and principal of Olivia Stutz Design, based here in New York City. Welcome to this wild loft I designed for my clients and their 2 young boys. Inspirations were infinite for this project, from walking down the street in New York City to my travels abroad studying new shapes and colors. This home is a treasure trove of funky pieces and objects begging to be explored and touched. Let's start with the living room. It makes me gasp every time I come in here. So we wanted it to have an artful quality, bursting with color and life, which you can definitely see in this large-scale carpet I designed with Studio Alex Proba. And along with the colors and patterns, it became the inspiration for the whole space. The chrome chair is an absolute showstopper and contrasts beautifully with the rest of the furniture. I love incorporating 2 sofas together instead of one large sectional, which can often crowd a space. Here, I chose 2 modern and extremely comfortable sofas. They have clean lines and a low profile, and I upholstered them in black, the same black we used in the rug. The coffee table is actually called the Element coffee table because it's made out of brass, sycamore, and stone. The dining area sits right off the living room, and I anchored it with a chandelier by Jason Miller. The thing I love about it is that it allows for multiple configurations. We went with a round table to make it feel more inclusive and less boxy. And it's made out of black marble, which gives it just the right amount of drama. You'll notice throughout that I love using stone and natural materials. They just bring a calming spirit to any space, as do plants. So with that in mind, I brought in this orange tree. An orange tree is definitely not something you see in the city that often, but good design should always surprise. We wanted to create an environment that would inspire the boys to ask questions and spark their imagination. One of my favorite pieces in the room is the Half Moon Mirror by Ben and Aja Blanc. Another favorite aspect of this room is the hanging planter by Kelly Bahun Studio. It feels like it belongs in a fairy tale, which of course is perfect for a playroom. Shelves are always a great way to express your personality and individualistic style. And here we went with a high-low contrast mixed with some really fun elements. The master bedroom was designed as a break from the rest of the home's boldness. We wanted it to be a quiet refuge, almost dreamlike, where the neutrals embrace you. The softness of the gray upholstered wall, the ultra plush bedding in white and cream, the cashmere pillows from Les Objets. So we brought in this beautiful mid-century modern chair by Hans Wegner, which is just so comfortable. And of course the stone elements in the clock and the narrow Marquina black heart. This home was a joy to design and is definitely one of my most favorite projects. I hope this inspires you to design with creativity and color. Thanks for coming.
Coming up in just a few, we join designer Philip Gorovin for a look at how he told his own story through design at his East Village apartment. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. Now we're in the East Village with designer Philip Gorovin. Philip believes that design should always tell a story, and he used his own apartment to tell his. This was a labor of love, and he created a feast for the eyes filled with bold accents, unique artwork, and stylish yet comfortable furnishings. And he more than made up for its lack of scale with a cohesive design narrative that always surprises. Check it out.
Hello, I'm interior designer Philip Gorovin, and welcome to my apartment in the East Village. I like to design interiors that have a lot of narrative and tell a story. And because this is my space, it's obvious that the story this time is about me. This is a pre-war 1920s one-bedroom apartment. I was drawn to it because of the architectural details, high ceilings. The biggest challenge for me is that it's a small apartment. I like the feeling of walking in and just pow, being surrounded by, all sorts of art and objects and pattern. I've been collecting things most of my life, and every ounce of wall space has been utilized for something. Ceilings are often neglected spaces. I see them as an opportunity to introduce color and pattern. It sets the stage for the whole experience. This living room, while it's not a big room, it's got high ceilings, which I think gives you the impression that it's a bigger space. And I wanted to have a room where I could entertain, a place where I could have multiple seating areas, and also where, I could just sit and hang out. The sofa in the corner works really well because I've got great views of the city. The pattern on the sofa is inspired by Moroccan architecture. My mother grew up in Morocco, so it was really important for me to weave in a little bit of Moroccan decorative arts into this space. This sofa I found in a showroom up on Madison Avenue. This is what I call a big little sofa because although it looks diminutive, it actually is pretty big. Sometimes I actually take naps on this. To round out the seating in this room, I placed this really unusual sculptural chair made of antlers, and also this chair that I had my whole life. It was in my parents' family room. I have lots of different collections, and you'll see them throughout the apartment. One of the things I've been collecting for a long time are these southwestern French bull's heads, and they're made of wicker. And I love them because they have this real, sort of Picasso quality to them. So one of my favorite things in this room and in my apartment is this 19th century Biedermeier secretary. It's a very practical space. I use it for storage, and also it's a great desk. The focal point of my dining room is this mural that I had commissioned by a street artist who I met here in the East Village. His name is Piscioti. I gave him my key one day, and he came up with cans of paint, and this is what he created. And I absolutely love it. And I think it just adds so much impact to that small space, and it makes it really fun when I have dinner parties. Of all the rooms in my apartment, the room with the least color is my bedroom. My favorite thing in this room is my bed. It's not only super comfortable, but I also wanted to have a headboard that was sort of curvy and a little bit less linear than everything else in the apartment. I purposely chose two side tables that don't match, and the reason I did that is I didn't want too much symmetry in the space, and I wanted to create some contrast, and I think it works really well. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at my apartment today and seeing how layers can create stories in a space and make it feel larger than it actually is.
Just after the break, we see why this gorgeous property and its grounds inspired an aesthetic that changed design forever. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now let's take a serene stroll through the bucolic surroundings of Garrison, New York. Just over an hour outside the city, this is the former home of mid-century industrial designer Russell Wright, who is credited with introducing modernism to the American public, all of which you can see at this home and studio property he called Manitoga. Take a look.
Welcome to Manitoga, the Russell Wright Design Center. I'm Allison Cross, the Executive Director, and I can't wait to show you around. In 1942, Russell and Mary Wright purchased 75 acres of what was an abandoned logging and quarry site. Over the next 34 years, he transformed it into a place of astounding beauty, including miles of hiking trails, his home, and studio. Russell Wright was a leading industrial designer in mid-century. He is often credited with introducing modernism to America. He built his home and studio, Dragon Rock, from 1957 to 1961. The principles of modernism were softened by nature. The entry into the studio, the knob itself is a stone. 3 of the walls are windows, and as we look out, it's a worm's eye view, so we're cradled by nature and the landscape beyond. So the principal room is divided into 3 areas. The work area, 2 sofas, which was a gathering area for socialization, and then his sleeping area, which is divided simply by an open shelving unit. And you can see a couple pieces of furniture designed by Russell Wright in the studio. We have the round Lazy Susan in the gathering area, and then the bedside table, and it is of blonde wood, which of course was a modernist approach to wood furniture. Here we're under the pergola that connects the studio to the main house. Beyond the quarry pool, you can see Dragon Rock. When Russell Wright's daughter Annie was a little girl, she thought that the rock looked like a dragon drinking water from the quarry. So in the main house, Wright continues the principles of modernism. So one of the first things you notice upon entering the space is this wall of windows. In fact, he incorporated the sliding glass doors full wall height to connect inside to outside. I hope you enjoyed the tour and a glimpse of Russell Wright's modernist home, and that you'll visit us at Manitoga in Garrison, New York.
We'd like to thank the staff of Manitoga and the Russell Wright Design Center for the tour. Coming up just after the break, we are in New York City's Nomad neighborhood for a look at this triplex penthouse.
This rooftop lounge has a full bar, but the best part is the view from the entertaining terrace.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Now we're at an eye-catching triplex penthouse in the Nomad neighborhood. It's 5,500 square feet and features outdoor spaces on all 3 levels. With an oversized chef's kitchen, ample dining space, 5 bedrooms, and wide open views, this is a home that definitely impresses. See why.
Hi, I'm Mara Flashbloom from Sotheby's International Realty, and we are here in Nomad, the hippest neighborhood in Manhattan, and you are about to see a showstopper penthouse. Color is back, and this tri-level home has gallery-sized walls and curated art. And speaking of color, welcome to the Blue Room. I just love this room, and you can never have too many pillows. With multiple exposures, this penthouse is filled with natural light. With a south-facing terrace, you can sunbathe, plant your favorite flowers, or grow herbs for a farm-to-table experience in the kitchen. What better place to prepare that healthy feast than in this chef's paradise? Custom cabinetry, 2 wine refrigerators, and top-of-the-line appliances. I'd love to see you cook here, Sarah Gore. This serene master suite includes 2 terraces, a walk-in dressing room, and a sumptuous bath. Victoria and Albert bath, steam shower, and a lounging terrace. Enough communing with the trees. Let me show you the entertaining terrace. this is the best in indoor-outdoor living. This rooftop lounge has a full bar and you can watch a movie. But the best part is the view from the entertaining terrace. Just take a look at this view. The Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, the New York Life Building, and the MetLife Building. Invite all your friends because there's plenty of outdoor space to enjoy. Can you imagine living in this one-of-a-kind penthouse? It can be yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this tour.
Thanks for watching. Like what you see on the show? Well, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We have so many more beautiful homes to share. It's all about love. Share these homes, you know?